Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 90-Day Fiancé Adnan jealous, doesn't want Tigerlily around other men. 90-Day Fiancé star Tigerlily Taylor is facing new issues with Adnan Abdel Fattah in the upcoming episode of BF90. It seems the two are now facing the consequences of getting married early in their relationship. Many were surprised when they decided to tie the knot on their very first day in Jordan, and it seems Tigerlily wasn't expecting the new rules she had to follow from her husband. Keep reading to see Adnan's shocking demands for his wife. Tigerlily used to live a lavish and carefree lifestyle before she married Adnan. Many of her IG posts feature clips and pictures from her outdoor activities. Some even showed the 90-Day Fiancé star driving a luxurious car. However, it seems Tigerlily will have no choice but to become more conservative after tying the knot with Adnan, who also confirmed that his wife has already converted to Islam. Some fans think there's one demand from Adnan that Tigerlily may struggle to fulfill. TLC recently released a preview clip for the upcoming episode of BF90. The trailer shows Tigerlily saying that Adnan got upset following her recent chiropractor appointment. According to the 90-Day Fiancé star, she was suffering from back pain and went to her chiropractor for help. However, Adnan wasn't happy about her bending over for her male chiropractor. And now Adnan thinks that that's what the chiropractor visit looks like this big, tall, handsome man, she added. Tigerlily went on to say that having male health practitioners has been their issue for a while, and Adnan even asked her not to go to men anymore. He wants me to change them and have all women, Tigerlily said. She was upset because they were talking about her health. It's not just like not shaking someone's hand or not wearing some revealing top. This is my health, she added. This wasn't the first time Adnan showed his strict rules toward Tigerlily. Adnan's patience was tested in one of their episodes due to his wife's long preparation ahead of their trip. When she arrived in the parking lot, she received an earful from her husband, who was upset about how long she took to get ready. This seems to be another thing Tigerlily must deal with. But the 90-Day Fiancé star clarified on social media that Adnan is not a bad husband. She even said that he cares so much for her kids. Adnan was never the jealous type. In fact, when he first met Tigerlily, her independence was what drew him in. She was fierce, driven, and never waited on anyone to get what she wanted. But now, with their engagement under the spotlight on 90-Day Fiancé, everything seemed different. Suddenly, the quiet insecurities that had been dormant for so long surfaced with alarming intensity, and he couldn't shake the feeling that things were slipping out of his control. Tigerlily was used to living life on her terms. She built a career she loved, made friends in every corner of the world, and had never had to answer to anyone. She loved Adnan, truly she did. But his recent behavior had her concerned. It started subtly, a question here, a comment there. "Did you really have to go out to dinner with your male colleagues?" he asked one evening. At first, she laughed it off, thinking it was nothing but a cultural misunderstanding. "You know how it is in my line of work," she explained. But Adnan's furrowed brows and his shifting gaze told her he was anything but reassured. The real turning point, though, was when she planned a small gathering with some friends. They were a diverse crowd, people she'd known for years, and most of them were male. To Tigerlily, they were her found family in a world that was always changing. But to Adnan, they were strangers, unknowns who seemed, in his mind, to pose a threat to their relationship. She could sense his tension as soon as she mentioned the gathering, and sure enough, he didn't take it well. "Why do you need to be around these guys all the time?" he asked, his voice sharper than usual. "Can't we spend the evening together?" Adnan, it's just dinner with friends, she replied, confusion flickering in her eyes. These people are like family to me. He looked at her for a long moment, his jaw clenched. I just don't like it, Tigerlily. You're my fiancé, and I don't want you around other men. You're here to start a life with me, not spend time with people who don't even know our situation. Her laughter died away, replaced by a puzzled expression. You trust me, don't you? She asked, studying him closely. Of course I do, he said, averting his eyes. But his tone was unconvincing, laced with something darker that she couldn't quite place. That night, as she prepared to head out, he was unusually silent, his gaze never leaving her as she slipped on her coat. His silence was heavy, almost suffocating, and as she walked out the door, she couldn't shake the feeling that a storm was brewing. The evening went as planned, laughter, shared stories, and genuine joy. But the shadow of Adnan's disapproval hung over her. When she returned home, she found him waiting for her, his arms crossed and a stormy look on his face. How was it? He asked, though his tone made it clear he was bracing himself for something unpleasant. It was great, she said carefully, putting her bag down. Everyone asked about you. They wanted to meet you. He scoffed, his voice bitter. Did they now, or were they too busy trying to get close to you? Adnan, that's ridiculous, she said, frustration creeping into her voice. They're my friends. They respect our relationship. Then why do you have to spend so much time with them? He demanded. You're here for me. Isn't that enough? The words hung between them, heavy with unspoken fears and misunderstandings. She took a deep breath, trying to keep her temper in check. Adnan, you know I love you, she began, her tone gentle but firm. But I'm not giving up my friends because you feel threatened by them. That's not fair. He shook his head, exasperated. You don't understand, Tigerlily. Where I come from, things are different. When a woman is engaged, her priority is her partner. Being around other men like that, it's not right. She looked at him, her heart breaking a little as she saw the pain in his eyes. This wasn't the man she'd fallen in love with. Or maybe it was, and she was only just now seeing a side of him that he'd kept hidden. I understand that's how it is for you, but that's not how it is for me, she replied, her voice steady. I need my space, my friends. I need you to trust me. Their conversation spiraled into the early hours, voices raised and emotions raw. Adnan's jealousy, once a quiet ember, was now a raging fire, and Tigerlily's patience was wearing thin. Days turned into weeks, and the tension between them continued to build. Adnan would insist on knowing her whereabouts, sometimes asking her to cancel plans or suggesting she limit her interactions with male friends. The pressure mounted, and the once sweet romance they'd shared was overshadowed by mistrust and possessiveness. But perhaps the breaking point came one evening when they were filming a segment for 90 Day Fiancé. The producers wanted a candid shot of their interactions, and Adnan's jealousy took center stage. One of the crew members, a kind-hearted guy named Ben, approached Tigerlily to check the mic clipped to her collar. Adnan's face twisted in irritation, and he took a step forward, his eyes narrowed. Is it necessary to get that close? He muttered, glaring at Ben. Ben looked startled, backing away, hands raised in surrender. Tigerlily felt the heat rise in her cheeks, a mixture of embarrassment and anger. This was going too far. Adnan, he's just doing his job. She snapped, pulling him aside. This is getting out of control. Do you hear yourself? But he didn't hear her. He was too consumed by the green-eyed monster that had taken root, growing stronger with every passing day. In his eyes, every man who came near her was a potential threat, a reason for suspicion. The love that had once blossomed between them was now tainted by fear, each of them clinging to what they thought was right, unable to bridge the chasm that had opened up between them. Finally, one night, after yet another argument, Tigerlily packed a small bag and walked out, needing space to breathe, to think. She wandered the streets, tears streaming down her face, wondering if love was supposed to feel this heavy, this exhausting. She'd once believed they could overcome anything, that their love was strong enough to withstand any cultural difference, any misunderstanding. But now, as she stared up at the stars, she wondered if love was enough to bridge the gulf that had formed between them. In the weeks that followed, they attempted to rebuild the fragile trust that had been shattered. They spoke openly, honestly, about their fears and insecurities, trying to understand each other's perspectives. Adnan realized his jealousy stemmed from a fear of losing her, a fear he carried with him long before he met her. And Tigerlily realized she needed to reassure him, to show him that her love was unwavering. Slowly, the wounds began to heal, but they both knew that the scars would remain. It would take time, patience, and understanding to mend the broken pieces of their relationship. They were willing to try, to fight for the love they'd once shared. But the question lingered, was love enough to conquer the jealousy that had nearly torn them apart? Only time would tell.